Welcome to Megamation Direct Line Training. This video will look at creating users. To create a user, go to Administration, User Security, User Management. This screen shows a list of current users on the left. On the right, there are buttons to delete, edit, or create new users. To create a user, click New. Username needs to be unique for each user. It can be made up of letters or numbers, and all letters will be uppercase. Next, choose the user group. The user group defines the access the user will have to the system. See the user group security video for instructions to create new user groups. Select the group from the list and hit OK. The Windows username, in this case train-jsmith, will be the username for logging into the desktop version of the system. The user's surname is a required field. Name fields can either be typed in or autofilled by linking the user to an existing employee entry. Fill the employee number field by typing the employee number or clicking the drop-down to use the employee search. Enter all or part of the employee's surname and hit OK. A list of employees matching the search will be displayed, or if only one employee matches the search, it will be auto-filled. Enter a password for the user. The password will be temporary and must be changed on the employee's first login. Add an email address. This address will be used for emailing from the system as well as for automated password reset. In the case of a temporary account, add an expiration date by clicking the drop-down and choosing a date from the calendar. Leave this blank to have the account never expire. Maximum idle time refers to the amount of time an account will stay logged in if it is not being used. If left blank, it will default to 30 minutes. Extending this can affect usage stats. The last mandatory field is the database field, or system database. Choose the database for the user's location. This will usually be DataDL, but contact support if there is any uncertainty. To give the user the ability to create other user accounts, check the boxes to allow user to create and modify Windows users, and to allow user access to the security module. Personal shortcuts are the shortcuts on the home screen. By default, users can set their shortcuts on their own. To limit this ability, check the Do Not Allow Users to Modify Personal Shortcuts box. With that checked, shortcuts will be set by the user group. When a new user is created, the box will be checked by default to change password on next login. This can be turned on manually at any time. The Active Profiles checkbox allows setting defaults for the user. Turn on the active profile by checking the user has active profile box on the General tab. Now the work order defaults and user options tabs become available. On the Work Order Defaults tab, there are two sections. The first is the work order entry default values. Enter values in the fields to have those values autofill on work orders created by this user. The user will be able to change the values when entering the work order if required. Fill each of the fields on the left by clicking the drop down and choosing from the list. Fill the submitted by either by typing the name or hit the magnifying glass and choose from the employee list. In the work order console options, there are checkboxes to allow the user to use the maintenance planner displays and functions on the work order console, such as planning mode and planning dashboard. There's also a checkbox to allow the user access to the summary and dashboard tabs on the console, and to run the work order console on startup. At the bottom, there are checkboxes to disable certain features on new work orders for the user. Boxes can be checked to disable work order priority entry, to disable changing the work order creation date and autofill it with the current date, and to disable changing the due date. On the User Options tab, there are two sections. The first section is for the work order list. Here, set the settings for the profiled work order list. The work order list as date independent checkbox will make the list show all work orders issued to the user regardless of plan date. Alternatively, use the radio buttons to set a planned date range of work orders to be displayed on the list. Use the checkbox at the bottom to run the work order list report on startup. This will display the list as soon as the user logs in. Other options for startup screens are on the right. Use the radio buttons to choose to open the work request entry window for people who are only requesting work orders, or the work order planning screen for planners, or choose none to load to the home screen. If the Tool Die module is being used, the box can be checked to launch the Tool Die Information Center on startup. This is useful for people whose work exclusively is in this module. The Analytics Options section allow access to analytic administrative functions, allows the user to create analytic defaults for other users. To give the user access to the mobile system, go to the HTML/mobile tab. Check the mobile user box to give the user access to the Direct Line mobile system. Remember, an employee must be linked to the user to enable the mobile access. Choose a mobile user group by clicking the drop down and choosing from the list. This sets the access the user has on the mobile system. Check the HTML user box to give the user access to the web work order entry page. Selecting the HTML user only box gives the user access to just mobile or web work order entry pages, but not access to the desktop system. Checking the Enable Planning function on mobile checkbox allows the user to do planning functions from their mobile system, such as issue a work order, change due dates, and more. Once all settings are set, hit OK to save the user account.